Okay, so let's see. There we go. All right, so last week was our opening round of season 15 in RPL Racing at Australia. Get to see the new cars in action. Everybody getting adjusted with Lyco, crazy racing, some crazy wrecks, all sorts of crazy fun stuff. But we are in to our first of 6 sprint weekends. This is RPL round 2 of season 15. We are at the Shanghai International Circuit in China. This is RPL Racing. Let's get the show on the road. Cyanide Wolf on hand for commentary tonight. I would have had a co-commentator being Polish Hammer, but he's not answering neither mine or Reese's messages. So hopefully this guy shows. Love to have a co-com with me, but if he doesn't, I'm stuck doing this by myself, and I really don't want to do it by myself because I know I'm gonna miss some battles and stuff, and I really don't want to, but I'm gonna give my absolute damnedest to try to get something on hand. Got a full grid again tonight, and we're on board. Woo, jeez, Minico. Just on board with Minico as he goes drifting out of the long right hand, out of first of 2 long right-handers, and he had to abandon the lap because of that. Very unfortunate for him there. Let's switch to Beatnik. Now wait, is Gecko on the lap? Let's go to Gecko. Oh wait, no, Gecko's at the early part of the track. Go to Beatnik here. As he's roaring down the track, gets to about 214, 215 into the heavy braking zone of turn 14. And Minico with that scuff lap is going to have to try again and get something in there. Ardell responds in there with a 33.7. Let's see what Beatnik's got in the Ferrari. Comes across the line, and it is a 32.5. So, last week in Australia, the race was won by Cookie. He wound up getting the first win of the season. He wound up getting the first win of the season. He wound up getting win number 40, just a note in that regard. And get this freaking thing to work. Apparently, everything's being stupid. Apparently, Josh goes fastest now with a 32.0. There we go. And then Savage wound up getting second, and he joined the multitude list of people on the RPL podium. That was he was the 72nd driver to do that. As Gecko, by the way, got himself third place, got himself on top of the board. Now Gecko would have been third place, but Alex Norris did have a track limit penalty, but he got that removed. So Alex Norris is fifth, who was originally fifth, is now third. EB goes up in the 10th. And yeah, I don't have the standings on hand because apparently, from what I was told, is that David is in charge of the point standings for both drivers and constructors, and he hasn't even gotten the time to even do them yet. So we don't have the championship table on hand. Which, I mean, it's not typical because we've had a lot of trouble with Dave getting point standings out. Like last season, I wanted to get this point standings for the last race, but I didn't get it to it was round 12 or something, and I didn't get the results. I didn't get the championship standings from him till 2 days after the next race was over. So I have problems with that one. But anyways, Frank Tank coming across the line. He is 14th with a 33.9. But let's go over some headlines here while we're waiting on some drivers getting some laps in, like Goat Lee over here getting some work in. Who's that going off? That was a Cadillac. That could have been Robin or Maddie that went off. But here we go. As Goatley heading into the last corner. Oh, he's restarting his lap. Okay, I had that wrong. So, sorry about that. Oh, I wonder if Maddie's trying or if he just, no, he's bailed out. Okay. So, some headlines on this one. We've seen crazy moments. Like, we saw SV getting screwed over in his pits because of stuff that went horribly wrong. Like, him going into pits after a crash, and they didn't change his wing, so he had to pit again to get it to happen. We have Reese getting screwed over by a glitch that put him a lap down. And then there was the funny moment, if you follow our RPL Twitter, our funny moment where Andrea and Alex Norris both spun out at the same last corner, almost in an in-stereo type of motion. Our co-owner Reese did make that into a meme. So if you follow our RPL Twitter, please check that out. It's pretty hilarious. Another one is that one of the original Ferraris, Florian, he has been banned from the server. Apparently he left during Q2. We thought he disconnected, but apparently the word was that I guess there was some kind of a race there was a race he was supposed to do, but I believe Andrea had that noted beforehand. But we'll figure that out at this moment. But I can find that in a bit. But let's take a look at our drivers here as we have sprint qualifying, 3 minutes left. We have short sprint qualifying, then our sprint race. Then we go to regular short qualifying, and then the main race. That's how it is going to work. So looking at our drivers here, as you can see on our screen, you got Gecko in Mercedes, Josh 433 in Ferrari. Cookie, our point leader, is in the McLaren. Savage is in the McLaren. Cookie's in Mercedes. Savage in McLaren. Beatnik, the other Ferrari. Shorts is in Red Bull. Night Owl Williams. SV Red Bull. Mintoki. Audi. Blonde in the Haas. Same with Goat Lee. Torn Penguin in Aston Martin. Miniko Ardell both in Alpine. Frank Tank, I believe he is making his debut here. He's in the V-Carb. TB in the other Aston. We got Robin and Maddie in the Cadillac. Goat Lee just mentioned in Haas. Top G, I believe Top G is another newcomer to participate. He is in the other V-Carb. Reese in McLaren, Fusion Williams, and Chungus. First time, I believe this is his first Tier 1 race as well. He's in the other Audi. Was right on board with Fusion as he goes into the S mode. Out of turn 4 into turns number 5 and 6. Coming out there, little wheel spin out of the exit. Listen to that Williams. That is a nice sound. Just hearing that turbo with that little whine in there. I like that noise. But anyways, down to the short straight, into this little tricky section here, with this long right-hander of turn 12, and then he'll whip it onto the long straight and just destroy the ERS deployment and just come flying down. We saw 215 from Beatnik earlier. Let's see what Fusion's got in a Williams. That's essentially the third fastest car. That Haas is right there of Blonde. And, ooh, that was close. Fusion coming out of the final corner to get a lap on. And across the line it is. He's fifth fastest, though. A 32.4. I think he could have been just a little bit faster than Savage. But, I don't know. Maybe did Blonde perhaps may have gotten in the way just a tiny bit? We have no idea. But let's switch over Let's go over to SV here. Coming out of the long right-hander onto the back straight. Now, SV, like I said, had a troublesome weekend last week. TB goes across in the 12th. But yeah, troublesome week last week. Got screwed over by the pit stop. Then crashed out in the final corner. Josh goes top of the board with a 31.5. And let's see what SV's guys. He comes out of the final corner. Reese is, I believe, just ahead. He comes across. Oh no, that's Savage. He is third. SV goes to fifth. Good stuff there. Let's take a look at our next group of gentlemen here, as there is a whole litany of people flying down. Minico in the 10th. Shorts just puts himself. Williams up in the third now. Gecko still in the second spot. Still in second right now. Let's see what Cookie's guys. He goes in the last corner. More cars coming across. Frank Tank into 15th. Gecko on top with a 31.3. There comes Cookie across. And he's only fifth fastest with a 31.8. 4 thousandths behind Savage. Let's see where Fusion is as he bails off to the pits. But there you go. There's Reese. It comes across for second. A 31.4. And that wraps up qualifying for the sprint race. Gecko is on top. We'll get the sprint pole. Reese is second. And then he's got Josh in the third place spot. Now take a look at Night Owl, Savage, and Cookie. 0.05 of a second separates those three cars. Very solid stuff. Gecko 0.3 clear of Reese from pole to second, and Reese was only just a hair over a 10th faster than Josh. But yeah, there's your top 10. So we have Gecko, Reese, Josh, Night Owl, Savage, Cookie, Beatnik, Shorts, SV, and Top G in the top 10. Now we'll be getting ready for our sprint race here. Now, just one thing I will say, like I said, I am by myself in the commentary box, so I am going to try my absolute hardest to get as much of the action, as many battles as I can. But if I do miss a couple, I do apologize. It's not easy doing it on my own. It's going to be even a little more trickier with 22 cars, as Wildstorm and I had trouble with it before last week. So this is going to present a good challenge. I just have to keep my eye on the ball, focus up. But, first sprint in a long while that we've had in RPL F1. What was it? Season 10? Was it season 10, I think? The last time we had a sprint race in F1. I believe it was, but I could be incorrect. I can't rely on my Wikipedia guy anymore because don't want to go any further with that. Reese does have good know-how about it than I do. But I digress. I think everybody's going to be kicking off with the medium tires, except for two. That being TB in the Aston and Maddie in the Cadillac. They are going to be going with the hards. But here we go. The 5 lights start the sprint race. The first sprint race. And it's off and away as Reese covers off against Gecko. They're side by side hanging into turn number 1. Reese muscles his way past Gecko, gets himself in the lead, bumping, banging, a little shove over by Gecko into Reese. Reese does not give it an inch here as he's battling and fighting into turn number 1. We have trouble in the background. That is Mintoki going for a spin. Reese gets ahead of Gecko, heading into turn number 5, but Gecko says, I'm not done yet. Goes for a dive bomb shot up against him here. Now they're working into the switchbacks, the S sections, but Reese keeps it together, keeps it strong, and still maintains the lead over Gecko. Very strong fight in that first half lap. Night Owl, by the way, back in the 4th place position, trying to get past Josh, but couldn't get it done. And in the background, there's SV battling away with Fusion and Top G, heading into there, almost 3 wide towards the background there. Take a look there, 3 wide in there. Ooh, baby, hello. Miniko battling with SV. Ooh, a little squirrely motion from there. Oh, trouble! SV goes for a spin. Oh, big crash. Ay, that was a mess. And Gecko gets ahead of Reese into the back straight. SV is back on the way and moving, and he is off and away in that side section. Savage being battled by Cookie on the inside. Here he goes, and SV gets that 5th place back. Gecko now takes the lead, but wow, what chaos, right? That's right in turn 13. Just seeing that scrap between Miniko and SV. Fusion also sustained damage as well. Very, very not great for SV. Again, another mishap screws him up. Good thing I managed to catch that angle. I think that's probably going to be seeing the stewards, no doubt about it. As there's Savage still battling. This time with Night Owl, and he goes up in the 4th place. Savage really on a momentum ride here. Got 2nd last week in Australia. He would love to see if he could go for a sprint podium here in this regard. Let's go a little further back because I see some movements between Goat Lee in the Haas up against TB in the Aston Martin. There's Chungus. Ooh, little contact between Chungus and TB. TB goes a little off the track. And Chungus is up in the 15th position. So I think maybe TB might not be a little happy about that. Let's go check out with Cookie now as he's going with his Academy teammate of Night Owl. Goes up in the 5th place. And Night Owl following close behind. Will anything happen going into the hairpin? I don't see any movement on there. Let's go over to Josh as he is right behind Reese as Gecko trying to pull away from him as well. For the background, we see a little scrap between Robin and Frank Tank. That's for the 11th place position. And Frank Tank manages to muscle pass and keep him back. Let's go back towards the front. Looked like Reese was looking to eyeball Gecko for the lead here. But no dice at this present moment. And there's some movement there again. There's Robin being battled with Goat Lee here, as you can see right on screen here. They're still side by side battling it out as Goat Lee loses the position of Robin. Now, these two are Academy teammates, by the way. Cadillac and Ferrari, Haas, part of the Ferrari Academy. Whoa, there goes Robin. Little friendly fire between Academy teammates. Ooh, beach. Chungus almost got caught up in that debacle. Now Robin has plummeted down to the 16th position from that mishap there. And there's more trouble. There's more trouble in the midfield. Goat Lee goes for a run out, and there's, oh, bang. Bit of banging there. Oh, bang again. Switch back up to Cookie. Looks like he's eyeballing. Looks like he might be eyeballing Savage here, but nah, they're keeping it back, hanging on for now. There's Beatnik in the back of this pile, in the 7th position behind Night Owl. TB looking to go for 2 for 1. And there's Ardell up in the 12th now. TB battling with Chungus. Reese gets in the lead into turn 1. There he is. On the inside, gets around Gecko, and into the lead goes Reese. Ooh, bump in the back from Gecko. Friendly battle between these boys here. Let's see if Gecko's willing to respond as they head to turn number 5. Nothing at this time. Juan and Chungus switching positions up. That's in the 15th position. As well, keep an closer eye on our top four here. Was right on board with Josh for a little bit, as there is Gecko and Reese just ahead of him. And he's got Savage up his back end to try to go himself into third place. And there's the Lyco being in play, lifting and coasting is what is going to be the main play here in RPL this season and next season as well. And looks like Josh did not get a great exit as he wanted to. And Savage, I think, sees it. And he might be eyeing for a shot, potentially. I didn't see Esmo get engaged here. And, oh, Cookie! Tried to shot against Savage, but Savage calculated it and didn't see a chance. The overtake engaged now. No battery in on these guys as they head down into there. Gecko still on the back end of Reese. We're watching these two pretty close. Let's move the time brackets just a sec. Here goes Gecko, inside shot. Oh, little tap. That was a little wild attack, but it did pay off for Gecko. He's up into the lead now, ahead of Reese. I think Reese did scout the little shift from Gecko and into the lead. He is. That's the third time that these boys have switched up. One quick second. Got a minor issue on the party part, but we're okay now. Looks like Chungus got past Torn Penguin to get in the 18th. Robin up in the 16th ahead of Mintoki. But Gecko does maintain the lead right now. Let's see what Cookie's got on hand. He goes down the inside. Maybe he's sticking his nose in against Savage here. And, ooh, just getting that wheel spin out of the exit. Just can't seem to get the momentum necessary to go for that shot and attack. But Cookie now has a better shot. Goes flying and gets past Savage into the 4th place spot. Now remember, with a sprint, the top 8 are the only positions that get points. So Gecko, all the way down to Shorts, we'll be looking at a points finish today from this sprint race. First place is only worth 8 points, while 8th place only gets a single point. And Cookie, given where he is, this will put him into 30 points. As I just saw, Josh thought about sneaking a peek against Reese, but decided not to go for it at this present moment, as these guys just stay in tune with each other to try to look forward at an opportunity to go for a shot later. This Lyco is really going to be a big piece on everyone's moments as we head down out of the long right-hander into there. Overtaking gauge for all these guys. And here comes Cookie. Eyeing, closing. Will he make a shot? Josh looks and covers the inside. A minor lockup into the hairpin. And Josh manages to keep Cookie back. We have trouble in that short section. That is SV in trouble. We'll check and see what happened to him in a second once we get clear here. So I think Cookie might be trying again. And there goes Cookie inside a shot. Not Cookie, Josh on the inside against Reese. This is a battle for second place. And this is going to give Gecko the opportunity he wants to get clear of Reese. And Robin, first person in the penalty box in this sprint race. But Reese manages to fend off Josh with only 4 to go. Let's take a quick peek and see what happened with SV. I don't see any damage on that car. Oh, there is a little damage. I can see it on the left side of the wing. He's got moderate damage to that Red Bull. Meanwhile, Cookie on the back. Whoa! I think Cookie got a little too frisky on that power and got almost hit and went into the back of Josh. Got loose, but the cars are okay. No harm, no foul. But it allows Savage to say, "Ooh, maybe this is my chance to go for a shot here, get himself in the fourth." But that Mercedes is just so damn quick. But let's see into the hairpin. Josh again covers the inside. Cookie deciding, nah, I'm going for it. Around the outside, wheel to wheel, heading to the final corner, and Cookie smacks his way into third. And Cookie up 3 positions since the start of this. And here we go into 3 laps to go now. I don't see any other battle. I don't see any battles going on in the midfield. But looks like our closest one towards that back end is basically the Audis. They were pretty close to each other. But there's hello, Night Owl side by side with Savage into turn 5, and Savage holds back and keeps the 5th place spot. I think Savage just made a minor mistake coming out of the first couple of corners, because Night Owl was right on there. So maybe Savage did make a minor mishap, and Night Owl attempted to capitalize, but just couldn't fully get it done. But the top 6 are in close proximity to each other, but well, maybe not now, because Gecko, whoa, Reese, loose, hang on. Hang on, Reese, as there's Cookie, like a shark smelling blood in the water. He's going for it on the outside and takes advantage of the looseness from Reese. And now Cookie into the 2nd place spot. And with 2 to go, next time by, it's a Mercedes 1-2. Whoa, Cookie gets loose at the exit of the hairpin. DB, by the way, on our map here, he's trying to eye up Frank Tank for the 11th place spot, but just can't seem to get that momentum there. And there's Josh inside of Reese. Reese trying to fight to stay in the sprint podium position here. Wheel to wheel, fierce fight, and here we go. And Reese gets back that 3rd place. Wow. Just some hard-fought fight, and all committed in by Reese. He had Gecko for the first few laps. Then he had Cookie for a lap. Now he has Josh to worry about. Reese is really being the spotlight of these wars and fights here in this top 5. But here we go into turn 11 and 12. Now the Mercs are clear. Now the Mercs are clear of Reese now. So Reese unfortunately won't have the S mode. Actually, I don't think the S mode's even working, which is a little weird if you ask me. But maybe it's just not work. Maybe it's just disengaged or something. I don't know. Whoa, Cookie, evil again. Just seeing that Mercedes just keep kicking out of the hairpin. But we're on the final lap of the sprint race. Josh is just trying to reel in Reese enough to try to steal a podium here, but just can't seem to get the right momentum. While Savage, though, is trying to reel him in. So it's going to be a brawl between the 2 McLarens and the Ferrari for in that bottom end of the top 5 here. There's Night Owl right behind as well. Don't count him out just yet either. DB still chasing Frank Tank down for 11th. And now SV into the penalty box as well. It's right on board with Savage here. As These guys just work out the right settings, the right momentum necessary for their run. Heading into the last couple of corners here, it is going to be it's looking at to be a Merc 1-2 here in the sprint race. As there they are in the background, heading down to the hairpin. TB gets past Frank Tank for the 11th place spot, but we're keeping our eyes on the hairpin here. Is there any shots from Josh here? No, it is not. Nothing out of there. But let's focus up to the top two. It is a Merc 1-2 here in the sprint. Gecko wins the sprint. Cookie will be second. Reese gets third. Josh 4. Savage 5. Night Owl in 6. And then a ways away, we got Beatnik in the 7th spot. There is Shorts getting himself in the 8th. But let's take a look. Bow for 9th, getting pretty close. As Minico just short, misses 9th from Top G. Top G in 9th, Minico in 10th. But Shorts will get the final points position in this sprint race. TB in 10th place, Frank Tank 12th. The Haas's in 13th and 14th. Ardell being in 15th. Audis, Mintoki and Chungus 16th and 17th. Bit crazy to see Mintoki down in the 16th spot after she got herself into the top 10 last week in Australia. Corn Penguin in 18th, the Cadillacs, Maddie and Robin in 19th and 20th, Fusion in 21st, and SV, after that incident with Minico early on, is stuck and will finish in dead last. Very not great for Savage. He's just gotten the brutal end of the stick, and we're only in the second race. And there it is. So Gecko is the winner of the sprint with Cookie second, Reese third, Josh 4th, Savage 5, Night Owl 6, Beatnik 7, and Shorts in 8th. And then there is everybody else in this group. And there, as you can see, in this field. And now we'll be moving on to the main qualifying. We'll be right back for just a sec. Okay, we are back. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see what we have. Let's take a look at who's on track. So it looks like our test dummy is going to be Robin. Now, Robin, you probably are familiar with him at being Robin Breen. Interesting driver. Had a few controversial moments in his time in RPL. But here we go. Into the Cadillac. Actually, while we're on with Robin, here's a question for the people watching our stream. With the livery for the Cadillac car, what do you guys think of it? Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it good? Is it meh? Or is it bad? Leave your thoughts. What do you think of the Cadillac car livery? But here we go. Robin into the first of 2 hairpins of turn 5. Gets a little flick coming out. Roars into the gears. Into the S's. Into turn number 9. Out into 10. Boom! Little lick at the curb. Gets a little kick out. Roars down into turn 12. Into turn 11 and 12. Hippity hoppity in 11. Now out through 12. Into 13. Oh, that car is just getting squirrely and evil on Robin there. But just keeps it together as he's roaring down the back straight. Gets to about 211-ish. And then goes into Lyco to get into the hairpin of 14. Now into the final corner of turn 15 to wrap up the lap. And in to the line here. And across he comes. And there is... He's the second fastest with 33.5. And it looks like what the heck? How in the world is everyone's done laps already? Well. Apparently everybody's done laps. Oh, interesting. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Well, that's interesting. Looking at it. But I mean, literally, there was almost nobody in there. But then, as soon as Robin crossed, everybody just had laps done except for Reese. Well, anyways, but yeah, so Savage has the top time right now with a 33.3. New bug with the sprints, probably. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, literally, TB just set the fastest lap with a 32.8 for some weird reason. But let's go check with Savage, though, as he gets into the second sector split. Over a second clear. Nearly a second clear in the second sector. Toki 33.0. But here goes Savage. Now heads to the braking. And gets him back onto the power. goes Savage flying down, and he gets into the 31s with 31.9. He's on top of the board. Frank Tank just starting his time lap. As Chungus heading into the pits. There's Ordell, 2.5 up. But here he comes into the back straight. There's Goat Lee. Oh, Goat Lee is on the inters. So here goes Ordell. Into the heavy brake zone of the hairpin. And here he comes out of the final corner. And he'll come across the line. Let's see what lap he's got on hand. As a 33.5. So he's slightly ahead of Robin. There. Let's see where everybody is here. Let's go to Reese. Let's see where he's at. Okay, he's over there. Savage is just chilling off on his lap. Maddie just kicked his lap up. Let's check with Frank Tank. There he is. Right behind Savage. Comes out of the last corner. Oh, and he invalidates. Gets a little too creative there. That was a 33.524. That would have put him just ahead of Robin and just behind Ardell in the 5th place spot. That's unfortunate. That is quite unfortunate for Frank Tank there. Was doing a really good lap and then just lost it by just going a bit too far wide out of the final corner, and it cost them quite dearly. So, bit unfortunate, but we move on. There's Top G now. Oh, Maddie! Loose out of that long corner of turn 12. Top G up on top, up there, 32.8. That's where he is. Research going through turn 1 right now. Let's go to Torn Penguin, as he's on his run, and he is about 3/10 down from his previous time, which is a weird one. But here goes Torn Penguin, flying on down into the back straight, gets the S mode active. Into the hairpin we go. And here we go. Let's see what Torn Penguin's got. Comes out of the final corner. Don't go a bit too wide like your buddy Frank did. And it's a 33.6 for Torn Penguin. That puts him behind Robin. Night Owl 32.0 for his time. But let's take a look at some of our rising stars here. Here is Cookie in that Mercedes. Man, very hard deep braking there. There's Reese coming down. Fusion 3rd with 32.3. Reese 31.7. And Cookie. Wait, Cookie only did a 34.0. That made no sense. These guys were on a time lap anyway. And Reese just got disconnected immediately. Oh, there we go. That fixed it. That's why, because when Reese disconnected, Gecko, Cookie, Beatnik, their times didn't register. Now they are registered. Josh's time is now registered. Let me send an invite to Reese to get him back in. Alright, where are you, dude? Uh-oh. Don't tell me I don't have Reese on here. Come on, where is Reese? There you are. Says he's offline. Ah! Anyways, so Cookie Gecko is on top with a 31-2. Cookie behind with a 31-5. Josh a 31-6. Beatnik with a 31-7. So a quarter of a second basically separates Cookie from Beatnik right now. Fusion Shorts is in 8th with a 32-1. SV with a 32-5 for his car. Minico 32-6. On in there. There's Reese. He's back. Hopefully he stays in. Because last week, we had 7 people. Well, yeah, 7 people. It would have been 8, but I'm not counting Florian. See what happens here as Blonde is back into the pits. Interesting. Oh, let's see what Chungus has as he roars down the back straight and gets back and gets. See if he can try to get a good lap in. It was over 8 tenths up in the second sector. I think he may have lost a little bit of time in that hairpin, but keeps it in and goes across, and he improves to a 33.9, just about a 33.9 dead, but he stays in the 20th position. Now, if we had our normal Q1, Q2, and Q3, Chungus would be in the bottom 6 with Ardell, Robin, Torn Penguin, Frank Tank, and Maddie. Maddie, by the way, is the slowest right now with a 38.1. But just under 4 minutes to go in this section. Game crashed after I crossed the line. Yes, it did. But hey, at least Reese's time did count, so that's a good thing. All right, 3 minutes to go, and everyone's coming out. Try to get the last lap set up. See if Chungus can get back into the pit and try one final time before the session ends. I think he should have just about enough time to get it done. We'll have to wait and see. But Josh is our first of the last runs to go out. And here he goes to begin his time. Cannot wait to see what Josh has in store here. He's got a 31.6. He is the third fastest driver. He's 3.5 tenths behind Gecko for the pole position. But we know one thing. The Mercedes cars will be pretty difficult to beat this year. They will be pretty difficult. But we shall see what will happen here as we go to Josh, as he will kick off his final time lap here. And here we go. Onto the board we go as Josh kicks off into turn number 1, using as much as he can for it, as Chungus has decided to not continue on. Oh wait, he's actually crashed. Well, the good part is that everybody that's passing by, they are, wait, did Chungus crash, or did he, yes, he did crash, okay. Well, thankfully, at least nobody was on a time lap where he crashed. Everybody was on an out lap passing by him. So that's a good thing. But here comes Josh to wrap up the first wrap up and into the second sector. Let's see if he can get some increased time here to the split, and he's over a second behind in the second sector. I think, yeah, he abandoned the lap, so he's gonna have to try again. He's gonna try again later, maybe. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But I think Josh might have to try again. He does have time, so he'll get there with about 10 seconds left on the clock. Let's switch. Let's switch to Cookie here. As first, looks like we're going to be wrapping up here. Looks like on our board we got Aston Martin now be the first across the line. That is either going to be that's either going to be TB or Torn Penguin. Across the line is TB, who will be 13th. Maddie only goes up a position to 21st. Mintoki, 10th place. Let's see what happens here. As Frank Tank goes to 16th. Top G into 11th. SV takes 10th from Mintoki. Savage in 4th. Torn Penguin 15th. Short 7th. Night Owl 8th. Gecko didn't improve, but Cookie does by four, just under half a 10th. Now, let's see who can respond. We got Beatnik, Reese, and Josh. They're the only ones that could respond here. Blonde into 11th ahead of SV. There goes Beatnik across the line. He goes to 3rd. Not close enough. Let's see about Reese. Can he challenge? Go for pole position? And he does. No, sorry, he's 3rd. Sorry, he's 3rd place, so no good there. There comes Josh. And it's a 31.619. And it's only 5th place. So, Mercedes 1-2 with Cookie beating Gecko by 48 thousandths of a second and nearly 2/10 quicker than Reese. Get a load of this. Reese is in the middle of 2 Ferraris behind him and 2 Mercedes in front. That's a good one. Savage in the 6th spot, Short 7th. We have the Williams pair at 8th and 9th, and Minico manages to squeak out into the top 10. Kind of crazy to see with Red Bull, because they were really strong last game and the game prior. But now with this one for the main race, they were 8th and 12th in qualifying. So Red Bull being a strong, dominant car, being a decent car, and I think we just lost everybody because I just saw 3 people just disconnect. Because I saw Blonde disconnected. And I can't invite. I don't think I can invite unless I have Blonde listed on here. Unless I have Blonde on here. I do not have Blonde. I do not have Blonde added. Well, there we go. I'll just add. There we go. Just add him. But let's take a look at our grid for right now. So our front row, we have Cookie and Gecko, the Mercedes, Reese in 3rd with Beatnik alongside him. Then we got Josh and Savage in row 3, Shorts and Night Owl row 4, Fusion, Minico making up row 5, Blonde and SV making up row 6, Mintoki and Top G making up row 7. And then we have we have the Aston Martins in row 8 with Torn Penguin and TB, Robin and Frank Tank in row 9, Goat Lee and Ardell making up row 10, and our back row is Chungus and Maddie. Now, I'm not going off of the tires that they have right there, but we do know that Blonde will be stuck on the hard compound tire when he rejoins. So that's going to suck. So Blonde's going to have to readjust in regards to that. And also, he's going to be dealing with like 2 laps extra of fuel, which is not what he would want in hindsight. But let's see. Stuck on endless communicating, bro. All right, here we go. The 5 lights come on to start the Chinese Grand Prix. And the lights out and off we go. The Mercedes cover each other as Cookie goes up, scraping and banging between Gecko and Reese, heading into the turn 1. And here we go, side by side brawling. Savage with Josh, Shorts with Night Owl, brawls into turn number 1 and into turn 2 and 3. Here we go into the first of the 2 hairpins. The Ferraris dive bombing, flying comes Fusion in that Williams 3 wide with him, his teammate and Shorts hanging on into that 7th spot. I think Night Owl was caught off a little bit by Fusion flying in like an eagle, and now Night Owl takes advantage up into 7. Oh, we got a spin. Oh my God, SV again. You gotta be kidding me, dude. Oh, and there's some bashing there. Who just went off there? That was Ardell and somebody. Ardell and Goat Lee. And we got a VSC. We have a VSC now. What in the world happened there? We saw SV going for a spin. Then there was an Alpine and a Haas going off. A lot of people were just going off like crazy. But VSC active towards the end of the first lap, and not sure what's going on in the back over there. Well, who knows? But we're back on the green now. I just realized. Is Reese actually normal? Oh, Gecko gets a little loose. Yep, he's okay. And looks like Frank Tank has gone into pits. He's retired. He's out. Our first retirement after lap 1. So early in the race to just call it. Well, Savage has the RPM glitch. I mean, literally. That's what you got when we're on board. So he's got the RPM glitch. Poor guy. There's Mintoki. thought about sneaking a peek against Top G for the 11th place spot. Oh, he got a little loose. Mintoki thinking of taking advantage. She goes around the outside, but Top G saying, you gotta try something else to get past me. And Reese is just falling out of place with the Mercedes pair. Now he could be under threat from Beatnik here. Trouble out on the exit there. That is Goat Lee that has gone for a spin. Goat Lee was battling along with Ardell and Chungus. Mintoki again gets past, and into 11th she is ahead of Top G. Ardell with Chungus and gets himself into 16th. Reese taking a wide line to try to get back in line with the Mercedes pair. Cookie is in the lead. Gecko right behind. And the Chungus and Robin have gone into the pits already. And Robin is done again. Is done this time. That's our second retirement from the event. The Aston Martins are battling between TB and Torn Penguin. Let's take a look here as there they are battling. There's Top G just ahead of them. And TB flexes his muscles to get past. Whoa! There goes Penguin into a major slide, but saves it. That was close. But good save. Good save by Torn Penguin. He was so loose in turn 8, but saves the car. Let's see, is Gecko thinking of... Let's see, is Gecko thinking about taking Cookie on? Yes, he is. Into the inside, into the lead, and in the background, the Ferraris do the same thing. Josh getting past Beatnik for the 4th place spot. As you can see with Savage, when he's braking, he has like no RPMs. He has like 33,000, and then when he gets back into power, he maxes it out. But he's looking to battle Beatnik. Thought about it, but can't seem to get the right angle lined up to go for a shot. But TB though on the outside, thinking of a shot against Top G, scraping, banging, bang wheels. Top G keeps him back. TB's gonna have to try another way. Oh, there he goes. Ooh, little slide. He got a little loose in the entry. Little contact. But they're still fighting here. Savage getting close to Beatnik too. TB muscles past. Or maybe not. Top G keeps him back. But let's look here. Oh, Cookie has gone for a joyride in the grass. I was just switching over to Savage battling Beatnik. As there's Beatnik on the inside to get past there. And Cookie went for a little joyride. And Savage keeps Beatnik back. But Beatnik did sneak a peek, but just couldn't get it. Had to switch over to Beatnik and Savage. They were fighting it out. And then I saw the yellow. And then I saw Cookie go for a joyride. So Cookie loses control from the lead, and now Gecko has the lead, 1.5 seconds clear of Reese. Now Cookie 5 seconds behind his teammate. Oh, I should have caught that. So I saw Savage going for a shot against Beatnik. That's why I was switching it up. And then Cookie just had his mishap. Now, Josh does not have... So Josh is trying to fend off Savage here for a position here. Savage looking to try to eyeball Josh for a 3rd place spot. at this time. So why don't we take a quick peek at their tires here? So Top G and Blonde opted for the hard compound tires. Everybody's on the medium compound tires. As Goatly and SV battle at the back of the pile. And there's the battle. Outside goes Savage. He's trying. He's thinking. Can he get in enough? He does so. And he's ahead. He's got it. But he needs to fend off into turn one. Because Josh has the overtake. He doesn't. And Josh reclaims third against Savage. Savage not giving it up. He's still battling into turn one, and he's got it back. So Savage gets past Josh in the final corner. Josh gets past him at the entry of turn one, and in the middle of turn one, Savage gets it back. Here we go, turn 5. Trying again goes Josh. And they're side by side, wheel to wheel, a little loose. On the exit is Josh, and that a little bit loose gave Savage the necessary oomph he needed to pull away and keep that third place now. Good battle between those guys. Good battle. Night Owl just got evil again. Night Owl was evil in the sprint race. The car got evil again on him this time. Cookie took advantage and up to 6. Right on board with Cookie as he's up Beatnik's ass. The two U.S. guys fighting, and Beatnik dumping his overtake, keeping Cookie back. They're both at the same speed. But Cookie fends on in and fences his way in and ahead. In the 5th he goes. That was nice. Just looking up, just go to the POV and just that. And looks like SV has had another malfunction, and we have a VSC now, and that VSC occurred. As that VSC occurred, Savage, Josh was about to get past Savage for the 3rd place spot, but couldn't get it done. But now our second VSC of the event. This time for Savage, Savage SV. And as you can see, SV with no wing. Good lord. This is, it's season 15. We're only in the 2nd race, and SV is just not having a great day at all. He got involved in a couple of crashes in Australia last week, and the same bad luck that plagued him in Australia is plaguing him today. SV just cannot catch a break. We're back in the green now. And here goes Cookie fighting with Josh into there, and Josh loses 4th to Cookie. And a little evilness out of Cookie's car. Let's see what we got here as these guys flying down the back straight. There is Savage dead ahead. And look at the speed. 217, 218 between these two. Cookie down the inside against Savage here. And Cookie gets it done, and he is into the 3rd place spot. He does. Fusion getting past Minako for 9th. Top G getting past Mintoki for 11th. Maybe not. They're still fighting. I really want to look at it, but I can't. But Top G does get the fight done. Let's quickly go look. As there's the 2 right there. Here's Mintoki. Thought about sneaking a peek into turn 1, but opted not to. And she's going to wait and bide her time for another chance later. TB has just gotten disconnected. Let me see if I can attempt to get him back. Hang on, TB. I got you, dude. Why won't you? Won't let me look over. I can't get TB. I'm sorry. Whoa, who went off? That was Josh. No, Beatnik went off. Beatnik's having an issue. I was trying to get TB back, and then we just saw that Beatnik just went wide out of there. Shorts battle with SV with Night Owl for the 6th place spot. Beatnik really lost some momentum there. Not sure what in the world happened there. And Josh also got himself into the penalty box. Okay. Well, let's go back to these guys here. Cookie chasing down Reese to get himself back in the second. TB has rejoined. Savage in pursuit of him. Josh is over a second behind Josh, so no dice there. Now we just lost Goat Lee. Night Owl on his backside. Right on board with Cookie as he is him chasing down. Minico just got past Fusion, who had a mistake. You see way in the background he's out of line. And Night Owl looked at Josh, but couldn't get something to materialize out of this. But what can be materialized is Cookie chasing Reese for the 2nd place spot. Switchback and goes for it, and into 2nd place goes Cookie, but not for long. Reese gets it back. Cookie went very wide in the middle of turn number 1 and lost the momentum there. Ooh, evilness again out of Reese's car. But literally, these cars just keep kicking out on them. And Goat Lee's AI just pitted him. So, Goat Lee into the pits. Savage trying to get close enough to try to assist his teammate here. Up against the defending champion, Cookie, who last week was the winner in Australia, collected his 40th F1 win in his career. 3 away from tying the record, 4 from breaking the record. Savage still trying to stay in tune with Cookie to try to help his teammate Reese out. In the foreground, there's Josh. Well, now background. Josh battling with Night Owl to try to keep that 5th place spot. Cookie looking for a shot on the inside. He does so. And no switchback from Reese. No switchback out of Reese there, as Reese will get the overtake mode. Let's see what he's got. Can he make the momentum and go for the shot? Can't seem to get it. Meanwhile, looks like Blonde has had a malfunction. No, it's Maddie. Maddie had an issue. So Maddie with an issue, and that will hinder him just a little bit. Gecko, 4 seconds clear of his teammate right now. And Reese now not close enough to look for an opportunity to fight here. Hang on, Goat Lee. Let me try. I had to get these guys figured. There you are. Got you. I got you, Goat Lee. Now, very quickly, go to Gecko right now. Gecko, by the way, as he is right now, he is in the lead. Gecko has 8 wins on his list. He just now, if he wins, he will have his 9th win in Tier 1. He is currently the 11th. He's in 11th for the most wins in F1 right now. He's in 11th. Ahead of him in the win column, it is Portly, Boo, and Maxwell that are tied for 9th with 10 wins each. And there is Cookie into the pits to get off of the tires. Savage responds. Josh as well. Shorts is in 2. So they're going to be going out to the hard compound tires at this present time. So let's see where Cookie will be when he comes out of the pits. He is going to be in the 9th place position because behind those guys, Mintoki and Torn Penguin have made their stops as well. So Cookie in the 2nd place spot came out in 9th. Savage, who was in 4th, he's 10th. Josh was behind him in 5th. He is in the 11th place spot. Shorts was in 7th. As there's Blonde getting past Fusion, who went very wide out of turn 5. Now, Blonde, despite that disconnect, he's still in the top 10, fighting on. Now we know with Cookie making a stop, we have trouble. That is for Ardell. He's got decent damage to the wing, and that is our 3rd VSC. Okay, while we're on the VSC, be right back. Emergency. All right, looks like we're back on the way. Beatnik, Minico, and Fusion made their stops. Same with Reese and them. Gecko up in the 2nd. Cookie battling, they're bashing and banging between Cookie and Cookie. Bumping and banging wheels again. And Ardell into the pits and retired. He's out. Cookie into the 4th place spot. That's Gecko and Blonde. So Top G and Blonde have not stopped yet. They'll be pitting a little later on in this race. But speaking of it, there's Gecko round the outside of Top G, gets back in the lead. There's Blonde right behind in the 3rd place spot. There's Top G trying to fight. There he is. Movement from both these boys, trying to get a position right. And Top G not close enough for a spot. Little kick out from Gecko, but no dice there. Reese also not close enough for a shot against Cookie. Maddie got himself a speeding penalty that we know of. Minico got ahead of TV in the 11th spot. Josh right behind Savage for the 7th spot right now, but not close enough at this moment. Top G just lost ground to Gecko. And Reese is just still trying to stay on top of Cookie and keep the momentum in. Goatley did return back. I did notice that. Fusion on the back of Mintoki for the 13th place position. TB still chasing Minico down for 11th. Shorts is in the 10th spot. So Shorts is in the last points paying position.
That's where he was in the sprint. That's how he got the last point Spain spot. And in the sprint, he was in 8th. And now Reese has fallen out of line with Cookie now. And Cookie reeling in Blonde at an alarming rate. He's got no battery available. There's Blonde. SV into the penalty box. There goes Cookie. Reese back in the line to get some overtake. Savage and Blonde. Savage, Josh. Blonde still yet to pit. We'll switch over to Blonde now, as there's Cookie. Whizzes right by, and Cookie gets himself up in the 3rd. Reese stuck behind him momentarily. And not anymore. There he goes. Right past. Reese had to go the long way around to get by him. But Reese up in the 4th now. Alright, let's switch over to Josh. Let's ride on board with Josh. As there's Savage, dead ahead of him. Night Owl ahead of them. This will be a nice little scrap between these 3. Night Owl, Savage, and Josh. Josh getting a nice front row seat for a fight. And look at that speed of that Ferrari. 217 before letting out the gas and going into some Lyco. We'll even this on Night Owl in the entry of the corner, but didn't seem to be affected too bad. As now Cookie, there he is in the background, hunting down Top G, and we have a safety car now. And a safety car this time for Chungus, as he has absolutely no wing. Hell, he's got no nose. No nose on that car. Now this safety car is gonna play decently into Top G's hands, because he will stop to get off of those hard tires and onto the mediums. But under that safety car, I believe, let's see, the time loss is only like, what, 12, 13 seconds? Top G could, I think he might get lucky and potentially be ahead of Shorts coming out of the pits. I think Top G might be ahead. Might get him. If not, Top G is looking at points position. At a points finish. SV and TB having a bit of a fun moment. Funny moment there. Now this is also going to help SV out too, because he just had a lot of bad luck hitting his way as Gecko is into the pits. It looks like everybody's coming in. So it looks like Savage will be hit. Savage will be dealing with... So Savage will be dealing with a... Yeah, he'll be dealing with a double stack. And no glitches for the double stack there. So he's okay. Now Josh has stayed out. Same with Shorts. So Josh will inherit the lead. Gecko is second. Shorts is in third. And get a load of this. Despite that, Top G only lost one spot. And that was to Shorts because everybody behind him pitted. So Top G right now is in 4th place. Reese got ahead of Cookie. Cookie lost a position too. I thought maybe he would have been fine given that him and Gecko were decently far apart, but I guess not. Cookie got affected by a double stack. Savage lost a few spots though. He's down in 9th. But let's reset this grid here for all of you. So Josh is in the lead with Gecko in 2nd, Shorts 3rd, Top G 4, Reese in 5th, Cookie 6th, Blonde 7th, Night Owl in 8th, Savage 9, and Beatnik is in 10th. And then the rest of our grid, we got Minico in the 11th place spot, TB in 12th, Fusion 13th, Minico 14th, Torn Penguin 15th, Maddie in the 16th spot, SV in 17th, Goat Lee in 18th, and Chungus is in 19th. Now we had three retirements from this event. We had Ardell, Robin, and Frank Tank being the ones that DNF'd. So we had 3 VSCs and 1 safety car. One of our VSCs was from SV. We had a VSC courtesy of Ardell, we had a VSC for Chungus, a VSC for SV. The safety car was for Ardell. Oh no, I got it mixed up. I'm sorry. Chungus is the safety car, VSC for Ardell, VSC for SV. I believe a mishap in turn 1 on the end of lap 1 with Frank Tank. That was the reason for VSC number 1. And Matty is into the pits, and I believe he's going to get rid of that 10-second penalty he's got. So, let's see what's going to happen here. Because we know the safety car will be out and about for another lap and a half. So, safety car will go in, most likely at the end of lap 19, which means we'll have 9 laps to go once we get going. Josh did not pit. Gecko did. Shorts did not pit. Top G did. So, Shorts and Josh are on the bottom end of the barrel because they pitted from their mediums to their hards. And they're gonna have to wait it out. Blonde and Top G did pit courtesy of the safety car. And that's why they're sitting in the 4th and 7th place positions. So, Top G is in very good prime position for a good points haul. Same with Blonde. He could be looking at a couple good points as well if he plays his cards right. Josh and Shorts have a bit of a tall order on hand if they want to stay in a good prime position for some very good points. So that's something these guys are going to have to keep an eye on. And as for the cars that pitted behind Shorts, I think what they're going to be looking for is mainly if they want a shot at the win, they have to get past. So like Top G, Reese, and Cookie, they have to get by Shorts as quickly as possible in order to have a shot to try to hunt Gecko down. In Gecko's case, he needs to get past Josh as soon as possible and then hope that Josh and Shorts will cause enough of a headache to keep the cars behind him, and that way Gecko can pull a gap and run off. Those are the scenarios that we're looking at here. So those are our scenarios. Like I said, Gecko has to get past Josh, and then has to hope that Josh and Shorts gives Top G, Reese, and Cookie enough of a headache to pull a gap. And then for the guys behind Shorts, like Top G, Reese, and Cookie, they need to get past Josh and Shorts as quickly as possible if they want to mount a challenge against Gecko. And the safety car is in this time by. As the safety car runs off, now Josh was a little bit below the minimum speed limit, but that was because he was right close behind the safety car, so the game slowed him down because of it. So, question is when is Josh going to bolt? Usually when it comes to safety car restarts, we see usually between the hairpin and the final corner, that little straight would be a prime spot to run. But let's see where Josh will go. Now, a couple times they've waited till that turn to go, but Josh, following like everybody, he's taking off. We're off and away, back on the green, here in China. Let's see what Gecko's got. Is he going to mount an attack to try to get past? Meanwhile, Reese battling with Top G to get around him into the fourth place spot. Top G keeping him back. Now has the inside is Reese to try to mount a shot to try to hunt down Shorts. And Reese muscles past and gets himself into fourth. Cookie, following pursuit with Top G, gets himself into fifth place. Now, Gecko trying to mount an attack to try to get past Josh for the lead here. Where will he go? Reese gets past Shorts into the third place spot. And Cookie now stuck behind Shorts. Let's see what happens here, as Cookie is a little bit far behind from Shorts and can't get the right muster needed to go for an attack here. But Gecko, though, on the inside, gets past Josh into the lead in turn 12. And Cookie goes way wide to try to make a shot to go against Shorts for the fourth place position. Here we go. In the background, as Reese looking behind. Here's Cookie on the inside against Shorts. Now let's see what Shorts can do as he gets into the position here. The final corner. Cookie gets past up in the fourth place now. So Cookie and Reese get past one of the hard tire guys. Now he's got the second one. Josh now. Let's see what Reese has as he goes around looking for a shot. Trying to figure out where he wants to go. Blonde being battled by Night Owl in the background for the seventh place position. Let's see where Reese goes. Where will he go? Josh covering the inside to keep him back. And Gecko running off with it as Night Owl has officially cleared. Blonde to get himself into the seventh place spot. Shorts, by the way, just lost the fifth place spot to Top G. And here's Reese on the inside against Josh, but just can't seem to get it. Cookie, though, thinking, yes, I'll do it. And now three wide into there. Cookie getting past Reese, or did he? Reese battling up, little lick of the curb. Goes Reese, and Reese gets back in the third. Here we go again. Cookie with Reese chasing Josh. Three wide again. The three wide battle for second place here. Here we go. Cookie slingshots in. Reese following with. Can't seem to get his momentum. Can he get it? Yes, he does. Cookie into second. Reese gets third now. And Josh did his duty. Did his part. As Cookie is into the second place spot. Gecko clear and ahead. 2 seconds clear of Cookie with 7 laps to go. Top G, though, in a very good prime spot right now. He's in the 5th place spot, and courtesy of Josh's penalty, Top G is looking at 4th in his first run. I'd say that's pretty dang good of him on a debut. Now, Reese trying to chase. He really wants to chase Cookie down. Now, Cookie, the battery availability, Reese has nearly triple the battery available. Now double the battery available. So this is going to give Reese an opportunity to try to see if he can go for a move and see if he can get the second place spot from Cookie here. Let's see what he's got. Let's switch over. So there's Top G. Under threat from Night Owl now. That Williams is just broken beyond belief as Top G covering the deep inside, now the middle, and Top G keeps Night Owl behind. And there they are again. Night Owl thought again, but couldn't get the momentum necessary. And ahead he is as Cookie gets the fastest lap with a 33.4. A 33.4, 0.3 faster than Reese's last lap. Now Cookie almost within striking distance of getting into the overtake mode of Gecko. And there's a movement in the background. Shorts battling with Beatnik. 48th place spot. Beatnik had a malfunction in turn 11 earlier in the event. Was fine now. And Penguin has gone for a spin in the hairpin. And just ahead, there's Night Owl battling with Top G. He does so. Muscles pass. Whoa, evilness out of Savage's car. And Top G in the 5th place. Not Top G, Night Owl in the 5th place. Top G relentlessly trying to fight him. And Savage right on his tail too. Beatnik as well. Brawls and a half there as Penguin has gone to the pits and retired. That is our 4th retirement of the event. Let's ride on board with Beatnik as he is chasing Savage down to go for a potential 7th place spot. Savage covers the inside and keeps Beatnik behind. No movement out of this batch of cars here. Cookie is now within a second of Gecko now. Meanwhile, Blonde got past Minico for the 10th spot. And Beatnik and Savage battling. Savage trying to hold on and can't seem to get it inside now. Can he get the momentum necessary? Ooh, little contact. Beatnik got a little bit loose and Savage gets the position back. But Beatnik may not want to give up just yet. Thought of a move on the inside, just couldn't get the right momentum necessary. Now, how far back is Josh here? Now, with Josh's penalty applied, he will fall to the 8th place position, just behind his teammate of Beatnik right now. There's Top G. As you can see, Beatnik thinking of the move. No, he just decided not to. And holds out. Well, here we go. Cookie right on Gecko's ass. And looking for the chance to go for the lead. He does so. Cookie into the lead. With 4 to go this time by. Meanwhile, Savage got past Top G for 6th place. So Cookie now has the lead and is going to go for win number 41 in RPL here. Well, let's see if maybe Gecko can try to see if he wants to fight back and go for a win himself. Meanwhile, Beatnik battling with Top G. Oh, contact! Beatnik goes completely wide and goes completely over. Oh, a collision. And Beatnik plummets down the order. That was a bit scuffy. No doubt about that. As Blonde looking to fight with Top G now for the 8th place spot. What We'll have to look at that again, but I think maybe that will be seeing the stewards for sure, as Beatnik lost a lot of positions because of that. Meanwhile, Night Owl getting past Josh for the 4th place spot. That Williams is broken. I love it. I love it. Seeing that Williams flying around the track and just fighting for prime positions like this. This is awesome. Looks like Gecko's not close enough to want to fight his teammate here. But we'll see that. But because of that little mishap there, Josh is now in a nice position. Ooh, looks like some fighting here maybe? Nope, maybe not. But we do know this, with Josh's penalty being applied, he's only going to lose 1 position to Savage. That's all. That's all he's going to lose out of that one. But there's Josh, by the way, fighting with Night Owl side by side in a turn 1. And Night Owl holding him off and saying, nah, get out of my way. And Night Owl just gone like the wind, dude. Gotta love it. Josh just trying to stay in tune. And what about this gangle back here? Oh! Bit of an accordion effect. Blonde went to the back of Top G. Minico goes to the back of him. And Fusion goes into the back of Minico. These 5 are racing so close. It is more snagged. It's more snagged than vines wrapped around a tree. That's what it's like. Let's see what will be coming up with this. Now Gecko losing tabs to his teammate. And we got 2 to go once the leader comes across. But let's stay here with this batch for the bottom points positions here. There's Minico fighting on the inside against Blonde. Will he get the momentum necessary? And he does so, maybe? No. Blonde fighting, keeping him back. Contact. Ooh, dip in the grass, and the car goes wide. Minico goes slightly wide, loses the position of Fusion, and TB gets past him as well. Meanwhile, Fusion trying to go around the outside against Blonde. As Minico gets past TB, get back into 11th. Minico's going to have to try again to get him done. TB's trying to fight him back to get back into 11th. Talk about fierce fight in there. And there's Fusion. Thought about sneaking a peek. Gets the wing in, but not close enough to be classed as alongside here. Let's go back up to Night Owl and Josh, though. As Josh was trying to reel in Night Owl for 4th, but no dice out of that patch. Now, what about Gecko? Will he have some momentum to go against his own teammate here? Looks like it's going to be a no dice there. Let's return back to our brawl here as Minico gets past Fusion and gets back into the points here. Now it resets again. Minico trying to chase Blunt down as there's Beatnik wanting to get himself back into the points here. And he, was ahead of Fusion, but can't seem to get it. Final lap of this race. Let's see what we got here. And no momentum there out of that one. Beatnik tried to sneak a peek on Fusion, but nothing materialized out of that. Top G trying to get past Shorts. I mean, that'd be crazy to have a V car be the highest finishing Red Bull car out of this field. That would be wild. There's Josh in the background trying to hunt down Night Owl. But bear in mind, because of that penalty, Josh will lose the position anyways if he got past Night Owl. Savage is trying to keep in tune, but will be getting 5th place at this present time. But let's see if Josh is willing to go for a move to get past his teammate and try to go for his 9th win in F1. Will anything materialize out of it? I don't think so, as Cookie is just too quick to get it done. So, he was in the front row, he had a mistake early, recovered, and is going to get himself another win, the 2nd win of the season, and it's win number 41 for Cookie. He wins in China, with Gecko right behind in 2nd. Mercedes won 2. For the first time in a long while. Reese will get 3rd, Night Owl 4th, Savage will get 5th, courtesy of Josh's penalty. Josh is down at 6th. Meanwhile, the bro here, boom, hello. Yeah, Top G gets 8th place, Blonde 9th, Fusion maintains the 8th spot, gets the 10th spot ahead of Minico. Minico just misses out on the points. Beatnik 12, TB 13th, and Mintoki in 14th. Man, what a wild ride. Just a wild ride. So Cookie gets win number 41 in RPL. And Gecko gets 2nd place. Mercedes were the first 1-2 in quite a while. We'll have to look back and see when was the last time Mercedes even finished 1-2. But there it is, Cookie on top yet again with another win on hand. Again, win number 41. Now he's 2 away from tying the record. 3 wins from breaking it. And there's the celebration on hand. Congrats to Cookie for the win. Gecko 2nd and Reese in 3rd. Congrats to the podium on there. Now let's see. So Cookie race winner. And the fastest lap. Game Gate driver today to Blonde, who also had the most overtakes, and Fusion with the positions there. So Cookie with the win over Gecko. Reese is top 3. Then their top 10, it is Night Owl, Night Owl, Savage, Josh, Shorts, Top G, Blonde, and Fusion making up the top 10. And there is the guys that did not miss out on the points. It's Minico, Beatnik, TB, Mintoki, SB, Goatly, Chunkus, and Maddie, with 4 drivers, Torn Penguin, Ardell, Robin, and Frank Tank, that have DNF on the event. Whew. What a wild ride. That was a great race to watch and to do commentary for. And like I said earlier on in the stream, I was going to try my best to get some of the battles. There was a couple I missed in the main race. Nothing I could do. I was trying my best. So a couple battles I did miss, so I want to apologize for that. But, wow. That is going to wrap up the stream for tonight. Let's see. As for a driver today, I think driver of the day, I think we're probably going to have to give it a Cookie, just like with last week. I mean, last week, Cookie went from 14th to win the race. And Cookie, I mean, he didn't do too great in the qualifying. He wound up starting in 6th, recovered to, I think it was like 3rd Then the race, he was 2nd. Then had the mistake and was down in 7th at one point. And then was just fighting his way and just really fought hard to get it. So, I mean, I will say, I think Cookie will probably have the honors of getting driver today there. But also got to get some credit. We have to get some credit for Savage for fighting extremely hard and staying in the top 5 pretty much the entire time. And then you had Top G that was basically in the top 5 and was fighting, but then it just came undone after that little tag up with Beatnik. But I know one thing. If I wanted to give a heartbreak of the event, it's got to go to I had to give heartbreak to SV. The guy just cannot shake off the funk that's gotten into him. I mean, he was involved in a wreck last week and then had a DNF, and then got involved in multiple incidents today, and only finished 15th. I mean, I really feel bad for the guy. He's just getting raw dog dry. So, and we're only in the second race, and he's just getting raw dog dry. That's the unfortunate part. Oh. Well, let's look at next week's race. There you are. There's the calendar. Well, next week we are going to be at Suzuka for round 3 of the season. That will be on June 20th at 8 p.m. UK. And and keep an eye on the socials on our Twitter and our Instagram. So you'll be seeing myself putting up photos of the action from our races and everything. And probably some clips of some clips of the stream to get some great action out of that one. But yeah, some great moments there. But thank you all for watching for RPL F1 in China for our first sprint weekend. Ty and I will signing off, and we'll be saying goodbye, and we will see you next week for Suzuka.